I'm Molly McIsaac with Red Carpet Report TV, and I'm here at the Season 3 premiere of Video Game High School. Let's go talk to some of the creators and actors and see what they have to say about it. Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm like, huh? Awkward. How are you tonight?
Good.
I like your suit.
Thank you.
You look very dapper, and your button-up is also good.
Matt doesn't even own a suit. Matt's an adult who doesn't own a suit.
I mean, I feel like that might make you more adult because you're just making your own decisions. You're like buck the police.
I tell Freddie. Yeah, I roll my eyes every time.
So I'm going to ask you some really loaded questions.
Load them up.
I think that I'm just going to dive right in here with a very serious one, in that I honestly think, and this is my personal opinion, that Video Game High School is walking the line between web series and television show in a very amazing way. Do you think that this third season is going to push it into a more accessible territory for people in the future who want to make other shows like that?
That's a good question. I think that our goal from the beginning has always been make something and tell the right story at the right length. And a lot of times it turns out, a lot of the television length stuff fits very well with script writing and storytelling, and that's sort of where we end up at. And the goal from there is never to be like, let's make television and try and show anybody anything. It's let's see how well we can do this and tell a story as best as we can. I think that the primary thing that's going to hold people back, and the thing that is always the question on our minds, is how do you get this type of content funded? Because it's one thing to say, okay, I want to make something that's like television length. If you want to compete with television at any sort of level, you need to talk. You're talking about production. You're talking about production financing. You're talking about where you're getting the money to make these things. And granted, we're doing things at a fraction of what regular television is, but that's a very difficult thing to do, and also it's something that we've been able to do as a result of doing YouTube and doing shorts and building up contacts and doing a lot of this stuff ourselves over the course of the last few years. So the question as to where if you're talking about independent producers, people will say outside of Netflix and outside of HBO making television-length content, the question to unlock there is how do these independent producers get financed and where are they finding the money from?
Do you think that websites like Indiegogo and Kickstarter are good for that, or do you think that's kind of dying? I
think they're great for that, but the caveat with all film-based properties and shorts or video is you need your fan base there to begin with. You don't have examples of people who are like, hey, I just had this crazy good film idea that nobody's heard of. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what we needed. The ones that do well and are funded are things like they have Veronica Mars, which is a show that's been around forever.
People with fan bases.
People who already have fan bases. Yeah. And we were fortunate in that we were able to build up the fan base before we launched our crowdfunding campaigns. But for people who don't have that existing fan base, Indiegogo and Kickstarter is not as useful to them in terms of a primary means of raising financing.
I also think it's probably not even useful for this sort of scale.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to a point where even on a low budget, a TV show of 6 episodes is still going to cost over $1 million, which is unreasonable to expect the fans to prepay all the time.
So I think you'll see more in features on the feature length side of things in terms of single thing. I've seen Grace had a lot of success. Grace and Hannah had a lot of success with Camp Dakota, and indie features on that front is something that I think is a little more viable compared to say television show or show length type of stuff. And features wise, that's something that we're looking into as well, and something that we're interested in pursuing as follow-up projects.
This is very enlightening. I think about stuff like that a lot because even here at YouTube Space LA, you have to have 10,000 subscribers before you can come make things. Yeah. I feel like there should be a chance for people who have great ideas but don't have the fan base or the funding to make it. And I think that what you were talking about and unlocking that is very important. I'm going to totally switch gears now and go a little bit more lighthearted and ask you a really quick question. Sure. And if any of the video games from the show, if you could make any of them into a real video game, which one would it be?
There's an edutainment game that we have in the 5th episode that is it's poking fun at a well-known property, but it looks like the most fun you'll ever have in math class.
Super
so that
math
game.
Blaster,
basically think math blasters, but better.
There's a Parappa the Opera game.
Oh, Parappa the Opera.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, I'd be down to play that. Well, thank you for chatting with me. It was very enlightening. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe. We're going to have many more videos in the future. And leave a comment with your favorite episode or character from Video Game High School.